And we're together in Gimel Tammuz. A little tough day for Am Yisrael right now, and I'm sure everybody's feeling it around the world, Jews, non-Jews, about the horrible tragedy that we're going through. Well, I shouldn't say what we're going through. I'm just Pasha Yid living in Eretz Yisrael feels a little bit pain, but we can't even imagine the family's pain right now. And there's a lot of questions that come up, and there's a lot of doubts, a lot of pain, a lot of confusion when things like this happen. I don't have any great answers, as the philosophical route is not my route. It's definitely a route, but I will just go through with Nachman, who says that if God is a God that I can understand, then He's a God not worth to believe in. We have to believe in a God who's beyond, who's Elyon, who's beyond understanding, and to try to understand and put together the pieces of this in our finite minds, it's something that we cannot do with our finite minds. So to try to understand the situation, we can't understand. What we can do is to hold on to the heels of the Tzadikkim, who showed us the path through suffering, through pain, and hopefully be makabel, a little bit light, a little bit or from the Tzadikkim, to understand how a Jew is supposed to approach such a thing, if we can approach it. So we'll start with the Yesh Kodesh. The Yesh Kodesh is very few people in the history of the world who witnessed such horrors as the Yesh Kodesh. Himself was killed. All of his family was killed. He watched all of his family killed. He watched all of his Chassidus and all of Poland being destroyed. And the Yesh Kodesh writes on Parshas Vayishlach, when Yaakov is having a wrestle match with the Sarah Shel Esav, Yaakov says, You have to first give me a bracha before you leave. You can't just hurt me like this. You have to give me a bracha. And the Yesh Kodesh wants to understand, what is this idea? He's just in this battle with the Sarah Shel Esav, and he says, I'm not going to leave Ki Berechtani until you bless me. What's the pshat of the blessing? So Yesh Kodesh on Vayishlach says a beautiful idea that this teaches for all the suffering for Am Yisrael, for all the times that we're beaten and we're down, and the Olah Shachar came up and we just made it out and we're just crawling out of survival. We don't only survive. The end of the story is Ki Berechtani. You're not leaving me until there's a bracha here, until Yaakov gets a bracha, and this is all of the Yeshuas of Am Yisrael is going to be. The ending is going to be with the bracha, Ki sarita Elokim v'amanashim v'tuchal, and we can come out with the bracha. And he says, out of all this pain that he's living through in this 1940, he already foresaw the horrors that are about to happen. He was already in the Warsaw Ghetto. It was in front of his eyes. And he says, through this, we are going to see Ki sarita Elokim v'amanashim v'tuchal. We're not Yaakov anymore, we're not Ekev, but we're Yisrael. And that's when the angel asked, what's your name? And he said, Yaakov. And he says, your name is not Yaakov anymore, Shimcha Yisrael. Saritem Lukim Kituchal. That we can, and we will have a bracha. Now is the Yesh Kodesh. A small thing from the Kloisenberger Rebbe, who lost 11 children, and a wife, and a whole Chasidus. Yet he survived, and not only did he survive, he created a humongous Chasidus of Tzanz, Kloisenberg, Borough Park, in Netanya, all over the world. One little story, and there's so many stories to say, but one story, that there was the night of the shofar, and they didn't have a shofar. And the Rebbe spoke with a fierce spirit. He called each prisoner to strengthen his faith, since they were all children of God. Surely in the same way that a father has mercy on his children, so God would have mercy on them. The redemption would soon come in the blink of an eye, and this is what the Kloisenberger Rebbe said on Rosh Hashanah without the shofar. This was instead of the shofar. We must have faith in Hashem that without any doubt we will outlive all of our enemies, he said. A simple statement, but if we understand where it's coming from and when it's coming from, and the context that it's coming from, it's not coming from Mordechai Kaplan singing the beautiful Beis Medrash of HaTorah in the year 2014. It's coming from the words of the Kloisenberger Rebbe, who lost everything at that point. But we must have faith in Hashem without any doubt. We'll outlive all of our enemies. And finally, L'chvod Gimel Tammuz, the Yom Histalkus of the Rebbe, Kfar Chabad started in the year 1957. The Rebbe sent them out a little bit before 1957. He said, we have to have a Yishuv in Eretz Yisrael. And the Rebbe sent certain Hasidim to leave New York and to leave Russia to go to Kfar Chabad and to make a village in Eretz Yisrael. And it was Erev Yom Ha'atzmaut when a a Fadayin, which was a Arab terrorist, walked in. They were bordering Ramla, Lod, which right at that time was very, very Arab. And they went into the local school, and the kids were learning, and they were in the middle of Mariv, and they started shooting. And there was a blood harvest. 5 children and 1 teacher were killed, and another 10 children wounded. Their pure, holy bodies soaking. The Siddurim that fell from their hands, splatting from the synagogue's washed walls. This is in Kfar Chabad, and the Hasidim didn't understand. We came from Russia, from the Tsar, from the Cossacks. What's going on? A pogrom in Eretz Yisrael. The Rebbe sent us to Eretz Yisrael. Now there's a pogrom in Eretz Yisrael. How could it be? We left Russia. We left the pogroms. We're in Eretz Yisrael now. And they sent a telegram to the Rebbe, and they waited and waited and waited for the Rebbe to answer. And they waited for the Rebbe to answer before the telegram even got to the Rebbe. They didn't want to, the Rebbe was having a Farbrengen, and they were afraid to tell the Rebbe before the Farbrengen. But even though the Rebbe didn't know of the telegram, he said he knew what was happening. And he started talking about the Mesiras Nefesh for Eretz Yisrael, and he started crying, something that the Rebbe didn't do so much in public. And he finally says the famous 3 words that we have to try our best to live by. He went to seclusion for a few days, crying and crying and crying, and he came out. He wrote these 3 words to the Jews of Kfar Chabad, and it was only these 3 words to this day. Kfar Chabad and many people are still around because of these 3 words. He said, "Behemshech habinyan tenachamenu." By your continued building will you be comforted. They said, "Rebbe, should we leave? Should we leave?" By your continued building, you will be comforted. Through this blood, and you will continue building, and you will be comforted. And they put it together in Kfar Chabad, and the 8th Yom Ha'atzmaut, they had a Farbrengen, and they kept on saying these 3 words at the Farbrengen of Yom Ha'atzmaut, nonetheless. Behemshech habinyan tenachameu. For sure, it's difficult times, and we cry to Hashem, Shuva Hashem, as the Ish Kodesh says, Shuva Hashem, return to us, Hashem, return to us. Ad Mosai, Inachem al avadecha. Have some mercy, have some comfort on your avadecha. Sabeinu baboker chazdecha, and let us wake up in the morning and be satiated in the morning with your chesed. And finally, to end off with what we say in Tachnun, Ad Mosai uscha b'shvi Hashem. Until when is your power? You are the all-powerful God, but it's in captivity. Until when will it be in captivity? V'sifartcha b'yatzar, and your beauty is held in the hands of a foreigner, of an oppressor. Ora gvurascha, wake up your gvura, Hashem. V'kinas chalevecha, and your kina, your jealousy, and the oivim that go after your children. Please have rachamim on us. Like I said, we can only draw strength from the Tzadikkim that taught us the way to be over Hashem and to deal with these situations. Obviously, we're not the family. The family is a different world. I'm not sure how a family or anybody deals with such a situation. But for us to walk in the ways of the Tzadikkim.